All right, I have spent months trying to figure out what my first video in this series is going to be, and I really want to talk about storytelling and how to be storytellers, how to find our stories, how to heal from our stories, and it's such a vast topic. So I finally figured out my first video. I'm going to tell you the first story that healed me, and I didn't even know I needed to be healed when I heard it, but it's a story I can't stop telling. And it's late at night. I'm having my evening tea, so it's also a bedtime story. So what a perfect time to do it. Okay. I first heard the story when I was a toddler. So it was about a half century ago that I heard this story for the first time. And this was told to me in the early 70s. Okay, so I was barely out of diapers. I asked my mom for a bedtime story. She didn't want to tell me one. She was from Japan, and she had only been learning the language. She had moved here 4 or 5 years previously, so she had been learning the language for a while from watching soap operas. And she said, "Oh, in Japan, the stories are weird. You're not going to understand them," which is true. I actually was angry at how much I didn't understand the nursery rhymes from Japan at first, which I did learn later as a child. So anyway, she didn't want to tell me those. And I just kept begging and begging. And finally, she took a deep breath and she said, "Once upon a time, there was a couple. This couple loved each other very much. So much so that love was spilling out of the windows. So that obviously had too much love. And they decided that they wanted to find a baby to give all this love to. And that baby could eat up all the love and then create their own love. And then they can share the love they had forever." So this couple went to the baby store and they asked for a baby girl, and they wanted the baby girl to be half Japanese and half white so they could look like the couple. And the agency said, "Oh, half Japanese and half white baby girls are very rare. They're never in stock." But the couple knew. The lady, she had traditions and food and holidays and a language that she wanted to share with this baby. So she wanted that baby to have the same DNA. And the white man, he was actually just cool with everything. He really didn't mind. So the lady got her way. She just kept asking, "This is what I want. This is what I want." And the baby store said, "Okay, you're going to have to wait." And the lady said, "Okay, we'll wait. She's out there." And they waited. And they waited. And at the time, there was a time limit. There's an age that you could not go to the baby store. So they had to make a decision because there were no half Japanese and half white babies in stock. And she just knew, we're going to keep waiting. One day, very close to that deadline, they got a phone call. And guess who it was? It was a baby store. And they said, "We got one. She's right here. You got to pick her up right now." And so they ran to the baby store. And they saw this beautiful baby girl. Her eyes were still purple. And her head had this soft patch of fuzz. And she smiled like 100 suns. And so they took that baby home and they gave her all the love they had. And they will love her forever. And me being me, I would ask my mom every time, "How does a baby smile like 100 suns?" And she would say, "They smile like you." I heard that story every night as my bedtime story until one day I realized that that story was about me. And when I grew up, especially when I was a teenager, I found out that the baby store is not the most common way to get a baby. There's actually homemade babies. Those were other stories that I needed to learn. But what's great about learning so young is that, and really learning the moment my brain could understand it, was that I always thought being bought at the baby store, adopted, was normal and okay. And I later had friends who found out they were adopted later in life, and they had it a little bit harder because the story was brand new to them at an age where they were learning so much about themselves already. And it healed me. I grew up feeling completely loved. Always, even when I felt unloved, when Mom and I would fight, that story was always in my mind. And it keeps me going today. Mom was not an experienced storyteller, and she told me that story in her second language, which shows to me that we all have the power of storytelling. And it is definitely why I'm so connected to storytelling now. Fiction or autobiography, every story I've written, I have used to expose something about me that may be unusual, but always with universal truths. Storytelling is a superpower. If you tell someone else a story about yourself, you can create a lifetime bond. If you tell a story of someone, then they and their life reaches farther. They live longer through your storytelling. And if you tell a story to yourself, you can build up or tear down so much of your own reality, your own belief system, purely on the stories you tell yourself. Your self-esteem relies on the stories you tell yourself. Being a superpower that we all have, if you know a language, you can tell a story. Looking back on our lives, can you remember the times that you told a story with so much determination because it meant so much to you? We need to be understood, and storytelling helps us be understood. But like all superpowers, it's a raw power. Words, feelings, conflicts, we have no idea how to harness it, and it is only with guidance and study that we take this energy and talent and hone our superpower. If you ever told a story that fell flat, or saw it twisted around, or worst of all, saw it ignored or abandoned by the person you most wanted to hear it, that hurts. And that is much of our lives. No matter what we do for a living, what role we play at parties or with our family, we work on honing that ability to tell a story. So I am here to hone my superpower of storytelling. I have been telling stories for decades and still learn every day something new about storytelling. So I've decided to start sharing my journey, and you are welcome to come along.